The ocean is not a peaceful place. It is an arms race that has been running for 500 million years. And the weapons it produced make anything humans invented look embarrassingly late to the party. Sailfish. Most people think speed in the ocean belongs to something massive. It doesn't. The sailfish hits 68 mop. That's a sports car accelerating through open water. But speed is only part of it. Their bills actually heat up during a strike, turning a hunting pass into a hot blade slashing through an entire school of fish at once. Their body reduces drag by 60% compared to similar-sized fish. And while they hunt, they flash brilliant blues and silvers across their skin to disorient prey. They don't just chase, they coordinate. Groups take turns attacking while the others hold position. A hunting strategy with rotating shifts. In the ocean, while going 68 miles per hour. Speed wins on the surface. Precision wins from below. Mantis shrimp. Everything about the mantis shrimp is excessive. Their eyes have 16 color receptors. Humans have 3, but their eyes aren't even the frightening part. Their club appendages accelerate at the speed of a bullet. The strike hits 50 melts all underwater and moves so fast it boils the water around it. Not metaphorically, literally. The cavitation bubble that forms collapses and produces a second shockwave, a flash of light, and temperatures briefly reaching 4,700 degrees Celsius. Nearly the surface temperature of the sun, from a shrimp. The force exceeds 1,500 newtons, enough to shatter aquarium glass, which is why they're kept in specialized tanks. They can do this approximately 50,000 times before needing to replace the appendage. They come with a reload function. The mantis shrimp weaponized physics. The pistol shrimp weaponized sound. Pistol shrimp, a few inches long, responsible for one of the loudest sounds in the entire ocean. When a pistol shrimp snaps its oversized claw, it produces a cavitation bubble that collapses at 218 decibels, louder than a gunshot. The jet stream from the collapse travels at 60 meters and briefly reaches 4,700 degrees Celsius, generating a flash of blue-green light through a phenomenon called sonoluminescence. The shockwave stuns or kills prey up to 2 inches away. During World War II, submarines hid in pistol shrimp colonies because the noise masked their sonar signatures from detection. An animal smaller than a finger was disrupting military operations. It turned water into a sonic weapon using nothing but a snap. Some weapons are invisible. Some weapons are the animal itself. Electric eel. Not actually an eel. A knife fish. That distinction matters less than what it contains. Approximately 6,000 specialized cells, capable of generating up to 860 volts of electricity. For navigation, they run a gentle 10-volt current, essentially echolocating with electricity in murky water the way bats use sound in darkness. For hunting or defense, they crank it to full power. A high-voltage discharge lasting 2 milliseconds, enough to stun a horse, multiple times in succession without recharging. In one documented hunting behavior, electric eels leap partially out of the water to shock threats on land, pressing their body against the target to maximize transfer. They chose a higher vantage point to deliver a better electric shock. That's not instinct, that's applied problem solving. One animal generates its own electricity. Another rewrites what a body can look like entirely. Octopus. 2/3 of an octopus's neurons are not in its brain. They're distributed across its 8 arms. Each arm can taste, touch, and make decisions independently. The brain sets the general direction. The arms figure out the rest themselves. They change color and texture simultaneously in 0.3 seconds, despite most research suggesting they're colorblind. A paradox scientists still haven't resolved. They have 3 hearts, blue blood, and can solve complex puzzles. They use tools. They recognize individual human faces and respond differently to people they've been exposed to before. And if there's a gap larger than their rigid beak, their entire boneless body can pass through it. The beak is the only hard part. Everything else negotiates with space. The octopus rewrites its own shape. The cuttlefish rewrites what you're seeing in the first place. Cuttlefish. 10 million color-changing cells per square inch. That number alone should stop you. Cuttlefish use them to produce hypnotic pulsing waves, shifting stripes, and traveling patterns across their skin to mesmerize prey before striking. But the genuinely bizarre part is this. They can display completely different patterns on each side of their body at the same time. Two separate messages simultaneously. Males exploit this during mating season by showing rival coloration on one side while displaying female patterns on the other, sneaking past competing males while signaling receptivity in the opposite direction. A living split screen running two programs at once. Their W-shaped pupils give them nearly 360-degree vision while all of this is happening. Cuttlefish deceive with pattern. The mimic octopus deceives with identity. Mimic octopus. Not discovered until 1998. Which means for most of recorded human history, this animal was performing and no one knew it existed. The mimic octopus impersonates at least 15 different species, including lionfish, sea snakes, flatfish, and stingrays. It selects the disguise based on which predator is nearby. When threatened by a damselfish, it hides its body and waves two arms with black and white bands, becoming a banded sea snake. For a stingray, it flattens completely and undulates across the sand. For a lionfish, it spreads its arms radially and holds them rigid. It doesn't just change color, it changes body shape, movement pattern, and behavioral profile. Nature has produced many camouflage artists. The mimic octopus is the only one running an active character selection system. Tardigrade. 8 legs, 0.5 millimeter long, completely unkillable by any standard definition of the word. Tardigrades survive temperatures from 272 to 150 degrees Celsius, pressure 6 times deeper than the Mariana Trench, radiation 1,000 times the lethal human dose. When conditions turn hostile, they enter cryptobiosis, a complete shutdown of all metabolic processes. In this state, they can survive without water for over 30 years and revive within hours of rehydration. They survived 10 days exposed to open space on the exterior of the International Space Station. They were revived after being frozen for 24,000 years. A unique protein in their DNA actively shields against radiation damage. They are not a survival story. They are a proof of concept that life doesn't need the conditions we assume it needs. The ocean spent 500 million years running experiments with no rules. Electricity, sound, light, shape, identity, physics itself. All of it available as raw material. Every animal here is a solution to a problem most of us never knew existed. The ocean didn't make monsters. It made answers. And it's still running the experiment. If you want to see what else it came up with, click the video on screen now.